Warm greetings. Good evening from here, and welcome to this first session. And I'm going to give you a question. It's the beginning of a quote. It starts, "There are only two ways to live life." So what would you say are those two ways? So do share. And the other quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who is a philosopher, said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." Whatever the situation or circumstance, we could be in the worldly life or family or on our own, just meeting people, maybe at work, but even in centers, we're still working with this really being the true self. And if the vision is not of the soul, then we are working with this great accomplishment. So yes, there are two ways to live your life. So happiness or sorrow, beggar or prince, body consciousness or soul consciousness. Yeah, these are helpful to reflect on our options. And this, the rest of the quote by Einstein said, "There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is as though everything is a miracle." So probably connects to everything you've mentioned as well. So I hope translation is fine, and we'll be welcoming Prashant. Good evening.
Thank you, and hello. Good evening from this end. Let us create a few moments of self-realization. And for this whole journey, first step for us is our best intellect. Surprisingly, the worst intellect is the patthar, stone intellect, but that is most popular at present time. That is the way it is. That's why it is the Iron Age. If we want to bring about a shift, we have to start with the intellect. And good news is that everyone has an option of paras. So this moment, we start with paras. One doesn't need to do even 7 days course. And the moment we use paras, if we are able to see the way God sees, it is radically different. We are able to see that whole physical world is a story. Three things. We realize that physical world is a foreign world. It is not our world. It's a fictional world, a story world. And it is temporary. So obvious. It is as if story is going on. It can be a film and it is going to finish any moment. Such is the nature of this whole physical world. And this gathering is within that physical world. Paras is not deceived by this. Patthar intellect is deceived. The first round, it lives in that story. Can't even see how absurd it is. Settle down. He said, he wants to be secure in that foreign world. With Paras, we can see the world beyond the story. And beyond is the real world. Just that it is not made of the stuff that the story is made of. Just as a story, maybe there is a drama based on a story, and you need to use cardboard props for the drama. It is like that here. Story is made of the stuff, and the real world is made differently. Our body and the senses are made for the story world. It is from the story world. The entire whole thing, our body apparatus, it is from the story and is made for the story. But Paras bypasses it. With Paras, we can see the world beyond the story. We see this in the image of a sky without limits. Story world has limits, and we are totally happy with that as a story. But beyond, this is a world that is timeless. We right now engage, see that expanse, see it in gentle red color. And in this region is the true family. They are the living stars of the sky. For us, this is not a visualization. For Paras, he sees the reality of this. His home and his family, all are immortal. And all need nothing for their existence. They are immortal without any needs. They are beyond harm. Story cannot harm anyone. Story does not affect the real world. They are big things. They need nothing and they are beyond harm. They know this. That makes them divine and noble. Their character is divine. And divine, it means no demon, nothing inauspicious, no concept of desire, no experience of disappointment. They are so free from the story, so they are free from ego, free from the vices, egoless, viceless, sorrowless, harmless. They are beings of happiness and love, all. That's why they're divine beings. All are like this, always. We are just seeing it, the obvious and vivid. A true family. All belong to this family. No one is an outsider. This is the home of the family and the father. Father is the one who is always in truth, always paras, parasnath. He is like everyone else, also like that incorporeal star. As was said, just means he is not made of the stuff the story is made of, like everyone else. He is immortal. But he is in truth. He sees the story for what it is. He knows that everyone is divine, everyone belongs to this family, they all are safe, all are good. Like princes, all are like eternal princes who belong to the King of Kings. He knows this truth. He also knows no one can change this. He can be completely carefree. And he remains in that silent joy, silent peace, contentment. He also knows the story is a great gift. Whole lot. Any stories are always gifts. Beginning, middle, end, it is a gift. There is never any complaint about the story. In this alaukic environment, the true self wakes up. And for the true self, it is normal to be incorporeal. For the true self, it is normal to be like a tiny living star, so different, anything from the story, so separate, independent from the story. He is conscious. He doesn't mix his life with the things of the story. If he is conscious, if he is not conscious, ego is conscious. Ego is totally, it is mixed with the story, dependent on the story. This moment, the true self sees himself as a presence. This whole thing, great story going on. Even this gathering, Prashant speaking, that is happening in the story. I can understand this. But sees his 100% independence from the story. Sees himself as an invisible witness. True self knows he belongs to that supreme sky, supreme home. Very happy with that. He knows no one really belongs to that story. It is big confusion. It's a temporary foreign world. Story is never anyone's home. For him, it is normal to be content and experience that silent joy. True self. He knows he is very lucky. Unconditional upon anything of the story, unconditional upon past. He knows he is very lucky because his world is supreme and no one can change this. His world is with God. Life is with God. Close bond with God. He knows everyone belongs to this family. Everyone is worthy to be loved by God. All are princes, eternal princes who belong to the King of Kings. All are lucky. He knows this. What we have done is use paras, just one step. And what an extraordinary prize. Here we are talking about immortality and truth and God and divine family, life of joy and freedom from ego and vices. And on top of all this, life of benevolence. Just as we are experiencing this, we are contributing to the highest benevolence. Just we are experiencing this biggest prize. On top, you are helping others because just by being conscious, you are making it possible for others to wake up. You are making it possible for others to experience that extraordinary truth. Making it possible for them to discover their immortality, discover their life with God. You are contributing to the realization and self-realization in others. As we continue on our journey in the sky, on earth, as this invisible witness is coming into the physical world, he comes as an invisible traveler, he comes as a guest. He comes as an invisible witness, totally aware that he needs nothing from that story world. That's why witness. If he remains involved with this physical world. He remains trustee. He comes in the physical world with some caution, not to be deceived. Not to disconnect from his supreme and sublime truth. Thank you. So that was the self-realization for us. But it will be nice to hear some thoughts from you and any comments. How was the concentration?
While the responses are coming in, was just, it's like we are playing a different game. Like even when we come to these ideas, it may be with one understanding of what it is we think we are and need, and it changes completely. And so realization is of not just self, but the situation we're in. Who is the friend? Who is the enemy? They're also realizations. What's important? And that's why we need the atmosphere, the experience to get back on top of the game in a way. Realize, like today in the morning reading, someone can even punch, but they're still not the enemy. Realizing who we are, and then you know what you're not. There's a question, it's not directly connected to the meditation. Shall I ask it now?
Yeah.
Emphasis is on home and experiencing, but the soul doesn't actually live in the home for much time. If it's a golden age soul, so how can it feel familiar and home-like?
Yeah. Like say, some people have a job where they are out of the home for more than 12 hours. They may be in office for 14 hours even, and they come home. But home is a home. That is where you belong. Office, whole company may close down even, and you got a home. You belong here. But most important aspect about our home, it is not a short time. That dimension is timeless. So whether someone comes there from here, it may appear 1 second or 100 years, but in the home, it's a timeless dimension. Try to grapple with that. But also know that more we use paras, many things become obvious. And the temporary nature of our existence here, it stands out with the paras. And whether it is 5 seconds, if you are in some place for 5 seconds, what is your attitude? You will say, certainly this is not my home, and I'm going to be out. Same law applies whether you are there for 5,000 years or 100,000 years. Now that let me go into a little bit discussion on the subject, realization. It's a very smart word, like it very much. And even Baba uses that word. We heard it today in the Murli also. And Baba uses English word, realization. And it has got some very positive aspects. Any realization, it is positive. But self-realization is like the essence. One way to understand it, and the way Baba uses it, is experience. When Baba is in sometimes, some dadis used to, in the commentary, they used to use the word realize. Dadi Ratan Mohini, she used to give sometimes English commentary, and she used to say realize, and what she meant is experience. And that is the important aspect of realization. It is not just a nice intellectual and understanding, but something more. It is moving in that direction. The one who is self-realized, some may use that expression as a final achievement. It starts with some interest or something, but the person who is self-realized, that is like a big word. In the corporate world, they use the word self-actualization. The different words, but they are meaning this with something synonymous. Within that, there is independence. One who is self-realized, he is not slave to anything. There is that deeper independence. And Baba talks about Jivan Mukti, and that is huge. And nothing of this story can bother him. So he is 100% free. One who is Jivan Mukti, one who has got that freedom. And but it was anyone going in that direction. They use the word autonomy, means independence, freedom. Less bondages, you are free. Less masters over you, emotionally. Many things happen in the stories, some throw stones, but does it affect you, or are you internally? Do you choose your state of mind, or does someone else chooses? Autonomy, authenticity is another quality you will see in one who is realized. There is no falseness. Just talking about, we spoke about contrast, body consciousness, when there is ego-based life, there will be falseness. Lots of, pretense will be there, pretending to be nice. And they even use the language, fake it until you make it. It can be even in those who are trying to change, the spiritual gatherings, they might say, fake it until you make it. Those who are realized, they don't need to fake anything. They remain authentic. But authentic and virtuous, everything of there is clean, inside out, it is clean. When they love, they love. There is no need to, they don't need to show. They don't talk about love, they love. Self-acceptance. If you have self-realized, if you know who the self is, then it will be very easy for acceptance at all levels. You got self-respect, at another level. And then you are also accepting the drama and the part and the details. That is also nice for you, because yeah, you are secure in yourselves. Sense of purpose. Those who are self-realized, that is what you will see. They got some purpose. They are not just their time pass, some kind of entertainment, or go here, and they got underneath. There is another direction for them. And they will have stronger values, very clear values, what is important for them. Conviction values. Like an example, someone might say uh, he feels violence is wrong. The one who is self-realized, he is able to stay with that position even if he dies. Death of the body is not a big issue for him, but he will not uh, harm anyone. Non-violence is non-violence. So the one who is self-realized, he will be able to stay with the values, whatever values he feels are important. That will be conviction values rather than convenience. Convenience means one day you got some value, next day it is not convenient for you. You compromise. You want to add anything, say anything? Some words, to help us grasp this subject. Self-realization includes self-discovery. This is extraordinary, self-discovery. So until then, what are they doing? They don't even, if they have not discovered the self, means they are in the wrong self, and there is no urgency about it to find out the self. So that is the way our ionized life is. The reason there is no urgency, maybe I can ask the question, why there is no urgency in anyone? They are sort of, even in philosophy and all, they may be saying, oh yes, self-discovery, yes, it will be nice. But there is no urgency, and even those who are talking about it, they are very casual about it. Why? What would be your answer?
We don't know that they don't know that we are in a sinking boat, so that there's no real deadline. They may not know that they need to realize something. They think the cycle is long if they believe in cycle. They are not aware, so maybe don't know. We don't know. Trapped in the drama, so it's sort of one identity to another, maybe. Enjoying living life in their own ignorance, even philosophy can be happening at the same time. Everyone else is in the same boat, don't realize that there is ignorance. It's a
Yeah,
bit like
very good, all this and the different aspects. But one factor to add to this, ego is in charge of our mind and life. If you really succeed in self-discovery, ego has to go. You can't have true self, and also false self. False self has to go. So ego doesn't want your self-discovery. If you just remain intellectually clever about it, that is good enough. Ego likes it. And ego likes it. People was telling that you are so good, you got a very good book on self-discovery. That is what ego wants. Ego doesn't want you to live in the true self. Because if you do anything further, you actually put it in practice, ego will suffocate. And the ego has got an active program to block this. So welcome to self-realization. That is not there is a active program for you not to realize anything. That is what we call Maya. Yeah, you want to add anything?
Yeah, the truth is so profound, isn't it? So good that to have any other notion of self is the enemy of that extraordinary divinity. So I think it's such a journey to get a handle on it, because this one is the blocking, but then there's the mixing. So that's where the objective language is very nice. Yeah.
Also, add to this subject, just understanding, just overview, and then we come in the experience. What are the signs of this self-realization? One very important aspect will be strong experience of what they are. They have discovered, and there will be experience in a self-realization. So there has to be the experience of self. It so happens that this, if you are woken up, then it is literally like coming out of a dream, and then you have access to the real world. True, you have access to the waking reality, and now there is meaning to your life. Until then, you are in a dream that life is meaningless. So the others will also sense it, that here is a person whose life has got meaning, very clear. He knows what he's doing. This kind of feeling they will get. There will be compassion, there will be happiness, there will be truth. There will be a sense of having attained what you ever can ever attain, and having understood what is there to be understood. There's a song, you sometimes hear it in the Murli song. Whatever is there in the universe to attain, I've attained. I've already got it. And whatever is there to be understood, I got it. I understood it. Biggest secret I have understood. That feeling, self-realization will come with that. You are just going into some details and trying to understand, but you understood you're woken up, you've come out of the dream, and you have access to the waking reality. It is no small thing. You are useful, whatever you are doing from the waking state, there are results. When you are doing things in a dream, it is hot air. You wake up and you wasted your time in that. So that is the huge contrast when you are self-realized. There will be this feeling of attained everything. Whatever is there to be attained, it is there. There will be like a shine of light around them. There will be the feeling of something more than just not just scholar, but there is a light and laughter. They will have the mission, and that mission will, of course, maybe unusual mission, not just mission to save stray cats, but it will be unusual mission. Not many will understand your mission even, because you are working at another level. Those who are not realized, they may not relate to what you are. They don't understand even. Your mission may be to help others wake up, come out of the dream. So if someone is dreaming, he may not understand what you are doing. there will be empathy, very different to sympathy. Sympathy is you are also, and a difference between sympathy and empathy. Say someone has fallen in a hole. One with sympathy, he also jumps in the hole. And then someone else had to help both of them out. So that is sympathy. Empathy is you stay stable and then you take the other person out. You understand what is happening, the difficulty, and you are able to take them out. That is empathy. So here you understand, and that is a sign of higher intelligence. Some people with some psychological limitations, some personalities, you know, mental, emotional personalities, they have less empathy. They can't even understand what they could be doing things, and they don't think about others at all. What might be, what might they feel, what is happening to them? They don't. They are so caught up in themselves, wrapped in themselves. Uh, those who are sensible, those who don't have these blocks, they have some level of empathy. Those who are self-realized, they have higher level of empathy. They will feel for the whole world. But as I'm emphasizing here, doesn't mean you suffer. It is not sympathy, but empathy. I'd like to hear some thoughts from you.
Another comment was a self-realized person is unaffected by praise or defamation or fame or disrespect, as was written.
Nice.
Comment, Ravan and Maya create the illusion and try to stay in charge. There was a question, what is Maya? Is it our own wrong understanding? But why would we want to deceive ourselves?
Yes, sure. Yeah, no one ordinarily would like to deceive, but as if our intellect, we are of sharpness of the intellect uh, reduces. That is what is happening. You know, we we are the one weakness of the Adam. He likes apples. He eats apples and finds himself in trouble. So Sita is is impressed with the golden deer. And the downward spiral starts from there. So at some point we are deceived by the small thing. It is not a big mistake to like a deer, golden deer, not a big mistake, but you cross the line, and then the process starts. I'm going to let us come back to the experience again, and then we will come to some other discussion. As was said, we check even in the last 5 minutes which intellect we were using. We have the option to use the best. We have the option to use paras. And for paras, the subtle and the broad, subtle intellect, broad intellect, they are part of paras. That subtle dimension is very, very natural. So here there is a gathering, in the drama there is a gathering. For Paras, the reality of the family of invisible princes, that is very, very vivid, completely separate to the drama. Drama can not just this Zoom call finishes, but the drama also finishes just like the Zoom call. But one who is Paras, he knows his world is forever. He lives in that world. He is a witness, invisible witness of the whole physical world. And just like this Zoom, the images all disappear. Press a button, it all goes. Same, this physical world, it can just go any moment. He's fully aware of it. It is just like the images. It can't access it anymore. And then our world is the alokik world. And this dimension is sublime. It is beyond belief. This our world, where everyone is safe, everyone is good. That is a extraordinary prize. Our world, to begin with, it is a region of truth. It is not a story world. It is a real world. It is not a foreign world. It is our world. We have a right here. And it is not a temporary world. This is the timeless, eternal world. So it is a huge thing to realize that we really have a home. We belong. And until then, we were as if like orphans, totally, totally unsure what is to happen next second. And just knowing that we got a home and eternally we got a place that creates in them total freedom. They are carefree. The personality changes. We're using the whiteboard. Today we are coming to the whiteboard a bit late. Well, let us try and understand our human personality, human beings. What do they need? All the human beings, what are they trying to experience? What is motivating each and everyone on the planet? Have you asked these questions sometimes? It is very useful to understand something, the law that applies to each and every creature, human beings, but each and every creature. What are they? What is their aim? What do they try to achieve? This applies to the president, this applies to the king, this applies to the beggar. What is going on? Do you want to tell? Just one thing that everyone wants. What is it?
To fulfill their desire to be loved and to belong, survival, experience, safety, fulfillment, peace, happiness, life satisfaction, meaning. Maybe they try to find it through status or some kind of success or money.
Yeah, agreed. The most important the word, you mentioned it already. We can't beat this survival instinct. We want to any creature that has taken birth, he wants to survive. It can be any insect, it can be elephant, and a human being. Once you have taken birth, then that is a deep instinct that it want to survive, and you want to survive at any cost. That at the animal level, they will kill, they will do anything to survive. This is the strongest instinct in each and every one. Now, human survival has got two areas, big areas, which they have to address. To survive, they have constant needs. It can be the food, and constant supplies are required to survive. And second situation that comes, there are dangers. There can be a predator, there are animals who want to eat you, and there are human beings who might like to hurt you. There are different kinds of dangers, so you have to protect yourself from these dangers. There can be flood and fire, and there can be. And then as we go further, as we create ego, new complications come. Ego has the needs now, and ego has new dangers. You can criticize my head, and you might scratch my shoes. So these are all civilized, in a civilized society, new dangers. So I have to address this. I have to constantly address my needs. So I need food at least. So I have to get food. So I got food for today. What about tomorrow? So I got food for tomorrow. What about rest of the year? There is no border between need and greed. It never ends. It can continue. Literally, you come across people who got millions, and they think, okay, my millions. But in this country, suddenly there can be problems. So I need another million in another country, maybe in another currency, and maybe another million in the form of gold. It never ends. You have to meet people who are solving this. There are experts who give you more advice how to deal with this. And dangers, as was said, dangers, there are unlimited dangers. This is the life that is led ordinarily, that is the life of ordinary person. When we say body conscious society, body conscious society, they live in this world. And we said that a box comes with the label unpredictable. They want to be secure, they want to survive in at a level where whole thing is foreign world and unpredictable world, temporary world. They want to survive. And this decides their personality. So whatever they are doing, underneath they have to address these two things. They have to protect themselves from dangers, and they have to address these needs. That they cannot compromise. It is described nicely in the Gita, in the scripture. And what is said is these degraded human beings, that is the word that is used. Their life is anxious lust and lustful anxiety. So on one side there is anxiety. Will I get it? Will I lose it? There is anxious. And I want it, and I want anxious lust and lustful anxiety. And their death. They die a death of a failure. They lost it all. The whole life they are worrying about death, and then death comes, and they die death of a failure. There is a lifetime of regret. What is mentioned is this is the story of everyone in the body conscious state, because their whole positioning, it is like because of the stone intellect, they settle down in that unpredictable world, and they got all the some needs also. They collected all the gold and cakes and food, but that world itself is a foreign world, and there is a guaranteed exit. We are out of this world. That exit is without our permission. And so there is a time of, you worked for all this security, and there was no security. So someone who feels there is a possible danger, he's not going to experience peace. He's not going to experience love. Love and all will be conditional upon his basic demands. Make me secure, don't be the danger to me, and give me food, and then there will be love. If that basic survival is itself is not guaranteed, his peace and his happiness, love, everything will go out of the window. So these all complex personalities that we see in that, there can be manipulation, and there can be, stubbornness and arrogance and violence, whatever that we are seeing, which we do not like. Its origin is here, and it cannot be changed. It can just superficially, what was said, they can fake it to be nice and pleasant, but that is not. It is not possible to change too much if we are in that space. If we live within that box, body conscious society, what happens with those who have knowledge? What changes? What happens to those who are self-realized? So here I'm emphasizing not just knowledge, but you have experienced, you have woken up. What happens? What is the big difference? You want to tell?
No greed is one thing. Clear differentiation between real world and drama world. Immortality, it's experienced, and this is a gift. The ego doesn't dictate life choices. No fear. Maybe it's like everything is a learning opportunity, sort of part of the game.
It's a big thing. If when you realize that your world is timeless, your world is eternal. Not just you, everything of yours exists forever. Your world is eternal. You have come out of the dream. You are now in the waking world, and all are immortal. You are immortal. Your world is eternal. It is safe. And nothing can harm it. There are missiles and there are guns and there are terrorists. They cannot change anything here. It is almost like you are watching a film. In the film, there are terrorists and there is a war and there is fire. But you are in the audience. You are not affected even the slightest by what is happening on the screen. Same happens here. When one is conscious, he understands that there is a story world, but story cannot affect the real world at all, not even the slightest. You are discovering your absolute security. No dangers, 100% free from danger. And another very fascinating area for us, it is almost new thing. You exist without any needs. You do not need even water, you do not need air to exist. Soul means this. This is most important realization. Soul consciousness means this. Soul knowledge, knowledge of the soul. I can say soul, but I need this, I need that, because body consciousness you will need. But one who is realized, he knows that he needs nothing for his existence. He is a trustee of many things. He is a trustee of the car, and car needs fuel. But he knows he doesn't need fuel. He doesn't need the car in the first place. He's a trustee of the family, and family needs house to live in, and you have to organize education. But you're a trustee. You don't need anything for your existence. You don't need the body for your existence. You're a trustee of the body, and you're happy to find what body needs. Zero needs and zero dangers. Never a beggar, never a victim. This slogan worth writing down, and we have to repeatedly come in the experience of it. Then it is soul consciousness. Atmagyani, knowledge of the soul is not being soul conscious. You know the knowledge, that is good, but soul consciousness, its soul is awake and out of the dream. You are seeing from here. And during those seconds and minutes, you know that you are beyond harm, never a beggar, never a victim. That changes the game completely. That changes your personality completely. In this personality, there is nothing that is fake. You don't need to play games in this personality. You can afford to be what you are. Why? What is the reason? Why would anyone play games if you are so safe? And in this safe, your nature, very human instinct now is of love. And what is the other instinct? When you are so safe, if you get the right answer, you will get a prize delivered. We said if you are free from needs and free from harm, then your other different personality takes over. And ordinarily, human beings are fully distracted, constantly into addressing their needs and protecting themselves full time. And this applies to the king as well as the animals, the humans, animals, a whole lot. But one who is self-realized and understands he needs nothing for his existence and doesn't need to protect even anything. So now life is of play, life of and
You gave
love.
it away. But other answers being fearless, happiness, giving happiness, being a donor, maybe within the play.
Yeah. The word I was looking for is play. Life of love and life of play. A child, if the child discovers that he has got their parents, they are absolutely on top of things. They are, seeing that they got whatever child needs, they are finding it, getting the things ready, food ready, protecting them. Once child knows this, that everything is taken care of, needs are taken care of, and protection is taken care of, its life is play. And the same happens here. Once the soul discovers that his world is such that it is secure, then your natural instinct is play. Play, what does that mean? Anything you see it as a toy, literally. But just a child sees some, table. He will say that that's a nice toy. I can play with it. I can make a den around it. In the same way, when you know that there is no harm of any kind, this whole universe is offered to you, it becomes like a PlayStation for you. It is a PlayStation. Your attitude is that. It is not how I can survive. That is not how can I create attachments here. That is not your instinct. Your instinct is of silent joy, silent peace, silent contentment. Express, creative, but in the context of the play, not in the context of fighting a war. You are creative not to, you know, destroy something, but you are creative in this context. In this personality, there is zero sorrow and there is zero anger. You are not thinking of hurting anyone. You do not know the department of sorrow. Giving sorrow, taking sorrow, that will be zero. The department of sorrow is in that other personality. That's why some words that were used in this, the one who has self-realized, they they know the big secret about the world. They have attained whatever is to be attained, and it is fun. The rest all existence is fun, play. In play, there can be body dies, that's the end of it. End of round one. Not a big deal. Their attainments are beyond this game. No one can harm. They are beyond harm. They know the big secret. Like to hear some thoughts from you.
we hear in psychology is that they have a different philosophy where we've evolved and that we had to have this fight or flight. Maybe there's a third one, I think, and freeze. That's the third one. Yeah, I just froze trying to remember it. And that we somehow need that that it has now become overactive because we get into all of this in simple scenarios. But what you're saying is, of course, the philosophy route, what Baba says, is totally different. We didn't evolve from animals. There's not the base instinct, but the instinct is to play, and that's how we start with a noble mind, knowing there is security. But within that, could you say a bit about being trustee? Because if we're just so light or end of round one, I mean, to mitigate that with some responsibility. Although, of course, we do need the balance. We can see ego is continually in fight, flight, and freeze. But
Yeah, just like you say if you are playing cricket, you need a bat, and you are using the bat. And if you are using the bat, you will naturally take care of the bat. You won't just throw the bat somewhere because you are playing with the bat. You naturally are trusty. You feel responsible. In fact, you feel responsible for the place. You won't just spoil the pitch, or because you have to play there. You feel responsible, trusty. Same, we have this natural instinct in that higher personality. If we call this higher personality noble personality, noble with the meaning internally feeling full, opposite of the beggar personality. In the lower personality, there is a predominant beggar element going on. And here it is noble. And from that, you are taking care of the bat, but you also know you don't need the bat. Bat is required just for that play. It is not useful to you at home, so you don't need to own it. That kind of feeling. You are not possessive about it. The ball comes, you don't need to own the ball. So that's the trustee. And same in this larger PlayStation, the invisible player is coming. Invisible player is coming in this PlayStation, and he's dealing with this amazing, very very sophisticated play world. And but if he is sensible, if he remains paras, he knows not to get deceived by it. It's an extraordinary gift as long as you are not deceived. If you cross the line and if you get into your bondages, attachment, ego, then you lose. You lose both worlds. You lose your sky, you also lose the PlayStation. You are into some kind of trying to deal with the dangers. Then one is in that beggar personality.
maybe a couple of questions in this context. Is game a better word than play, or are they interchangeable in this context?
Yeah, it is with that meaning. It is like a massive PlayStation. So yeah, play is a good word.
Someone's written in this text, Brahmin seem to be helping others, serving, and children play. So they said, I can't see how they're the same.
Even our service is with the spirit of play. Even our meditation is with the spirit of play. Life itself, existence is play. It is not you are play. We shouldn't see play is something that is, flippant, trivial. Play is the only time when people are working really hard. No other work people are working as hard as play. Play is the time where you got a very clear aim, what you want to achieve, and you got high goals. But also you at the same time know how to fall and how to start again. Play is a higher state of our mindset.
Bit like from an abundant space with nothing to lose, but if it's there, it's great. It's like the extra feeling, extra energy. Someone is written, for example, at work, also a trustee, when ideas for improvements are given but are cancelled by ego.
Work is everything is play. Within play, if you are doing a work, it is like a holiday jobs. The spirit is that you are doing things, in the context, because you know the bigger reality. You know the reality of your world. So it is a big PlayStation. Within that, there are small different duties and different works and different jobs, but you don't lose sight of that bigger. You do this whilst holding that space.
I sense that this is a big area of realization. Actually, we talk about self, but the play and being a player is a big thing. Maybe it's a good time to pause for rooms and just acknowledging the half dozen questions that we can perhaps take up afterwards.
Yes.
And would you like to give a kind of a inquiry for room discussion?
Yes. What does self-realization mean to you?
Not philosophy. It's not self-realization. I had to get that bad joke in somewhere. So yes, Heather will be inviting us in anytime soon, and we'll meet back just after 10 minutes. Thank you. Warm welcome back. Very nice that we can also see you. We will be greeting just a moment of silence before we hear from others. Thank you. Thank you. It was a short minute. So we'd like to welcome Santi. Any reflections? Good evening.
Om Shanti and good evening from Israel. So, very vivid conversation in our group. We talked about dangers and monsters and how to survive this chaos and whatnot. But we eventually made the distinction between who is the one that sees the danger and who is the one who fight the danger, trying to survive and whatnot, and also how to overcome addictions, because knowing that addictions come from body consciousness, and knowing the knowledge, and there is a great war between the both of them. Eventually the realization is yes, we have this knowledge, we need to practice the knowledge, to experience it, and it's not a small thing to practice, but as long as we know it is a game, PlayStation, and it is a place to have fun and work with this realization, then there are those moments, precious moments, that we experience it fully, and they give us as a backbone and backup for the next seconds when we fall back to the default that we used to be 2,500 years. But when knowing the truth, you know you're gonna win. It's a matter of practicing, it's a matter of using the right tools, and eventually you will win, and you can have that fun and playing attitude. Another thing that came up is knowledge says the drama is fixed and cannot be changed, and you know that it's useless to try to change anything in the drama, try to change any script of anyone. So you are free to deal with yourself only, and you know that you cannot blame anyone, even not yourself playing a certain role. So this is very relieving point of knowledge, and which opens the door for those original qualities that a soul, eternal soul, immortal soul have inherent in it, like this love, this joy, this silence that can be reflected upon the story and give pointing the exit for all other that still cannot see the exit, as was said. That's it for now. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing and also giving the flavor of the rich discussion in the room. And it touches on a question, I think, that came up. Does a glance of self-realization remain permanent? So it almost felt like when you were sharing it, there is some aspect like when we realize something, you can't unrealize it. So it's a very positive message. Of course, we may lose the fullness of it, but thank you. Welcome to Bishant, and just a reminder of some inquiries that have come.
Yes, sure. Yeah, the realization with one meaning, you understood if that is the meaning, then you don't lose it. But the experience, to stay in the experience, in that area, there is constant interference from our own lower consciousness. As was said, ego will die. If you remain realized, then ego will die.
It's such a contrast, isn't it? The fully realized self. Is it like you might get full light and then there's dark again, but at least you know there's such a thing as light in a way. So that's a reference point. But to really make it relevant, we have to be in the experience. Can attainments be translated as a realization?
Attainments, I want attainments at all levels, but realization is something special. Realization brings the experience of attainments, but they are different.
Touched on this earlier, I think. What is the purpose of life from a spiritual perspective? But anything you want to add?
The purpose changes, like in one situation there is one purpose. As the situation changes, it's a different purpose. We don't give like a prescription. This is the purpose, like the way they do it in philosophy. But our method is to wake up. That is the emphasis. You wake up, and when you are awake, you discover what is required at that time. And so at the confluence age, that will be one purpose for you, but another time it is a different purpose. But all these in the context of the play. If someone is spiritual, if the word we use spiritual, which means he is conscious, then play is forever.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And comment, maybe there's no urgency for self-realization due to the intervention of man-made religions that sidetrack and divert spiritual evolution. So there's a question.
And then the religions, they play their part, and at the time there was the prophets come, and there is a necessary part they played. The interpretation of everything changes, and human beings distort everything, including this knowledge also. There is a tendency to distort it. But in the midst of this, we have to fly.
Like a deception, isn't it? With the different leaves coming on the tree with their own version and understanding in a limited way. Is it like we are, as souls, have used up all our internal energy of love, peace, etc., and we have to fill up again from the Supreme Soul? Do we really become empty and then have to fill ourselves?
Yeah. One way to see it is, just like the moon. Moon remains complete moon, just it gets eclipsed. But moon remains exactly the same. Soul, he remains soul. Soul never, doesn't become, if he's a soul, means he's full in every respect. And that dimension, we said, is a timeless dimension, and no one can change it. No one can block it. No one can take anything away. Such is that dimension. But we can create an eclipse, our own eclipse. When we create ego, when we create all this, we block ourselves. As we remove the eclipse, we discover we got everything, all the powers, and we are not empty anymore. Just a language. It is a different poetic way of saying we take it from God. That is poetic way of saying.
It's helpful, so it removes the sort of devotional attitude of which can come sometimes. Saying it's poetic makes more sense. Baba often says we require a lot of effort for this self-realization, but then he also says it's easy. So how can this be explained in this kind of play, noble ideas that have been discussed?
Yes, it is like it is so obvious. It is a bit like that. Once you understood, this is the story, and there is the world, and we are from that. It is obvious, and once it is obvious, it's so easy. There is not you don't have to, climb the mountain. You don't have to do anything. Just you realize it is too easy, easiest of the easy, if we use the right intellect. But then the effort is in removing the different heads of the monster, because they are created over a long period of time, and they won't just go because you say it is easy. And they will come with all kinds of tricks also. They want to, as was said, they want to survive. And then there is Maya, and then there's stone intellect completely supporting it. So that is where the effort is. But we heard in the last week one word Baba used. Baba is Ustad. Ustad is like an expert who can teach you how to win over Maya. Maya has got its full program. Ordinarily, everyone is defeated by Maya. Maya has got intelligence to trick you. Even though you may understand things, Maya has got a program. But Baba is Ustad. He knows Maya, he recognizes Maya very well, knows Ravan very well, knows how to stop it and how to gain victory over Maya. So that is what our journey is.
Yes, in that sense, it's easy with the one that knows the game very well. Interesting follow-up. So self-realization is like light or a light. Is it either on or off? Is there a dimmer switch? Is it possible to have 10% self-awareness?
It is on or off. You wake up or you don't wake up. It is like that. That is a momentum that helps us waking up. But it is like you are awake and you understand things. You see the things, the waking reality. Now you are either in the dream or you are in the waking reality.
Someone is asking a personal question, how to explain to the partner that he's trying to change my script. I've tried to explain with humor, but he thinks it's his mission to try to change my script.
What to explain? That is not you tried whatever is the approach, and that is enough to not to be too caught up in that either. He has that part, then he can continue that part.
Even hearing it, it might feel quite amusing because it is just a part, isn't it? So it's like, where is the yoga for myself? So yeah, good question. And we all have someone maybe in the drama that has ideas about our own script. Is the Lokik world set up as if to keep us distracted from the alokik? It's like cleverly designed almost.
Yeah, it is cleverly designed, this whole drama. We jokingly say Ravan is the co-creator of this copage, ironage drama. So it is cleverly made to trick you into this. But it is a game. And we need to be clever not to be deceived by this. Like any game, it is not made that easy. In the game, there will be spin and there will be different, googly, all kinds of tricks are used in game. It is all accepted. It is part of the game. But we use, human beings have got a big brain compared to any other animal. So we have to use our brain and win.
Certainly, the game energy is more sustainable and brings the necessary backdrop of lightness to, because this game is intricate, but at the same time to zoom right out. Yeah, there are no more questions. Thank you. If you have anything to share finally. There is one more question. Just maybe one more quick one. With reference to the 10% self-realization, is it possible that this is a confusion of terminology of self-realization versus awareness?
The awareness is a very broad word, and that is our practice. To come in the right awareness, that is the practice. Self-realization is one very clear milestone. That is the way we are using it.
And maybe in this milestone, knowing the enemy is also a milestone, one of them. Does defeat from Maya make it harder for self-realization? Which, yes, may be the answer, but if yes, how to come back from that failure?
No, the next round starts. In the next round, you defeat Maya. You learned what happened, what is happening, what are the cautions you have to take, and you win. It's a forward journey. Even the defeat, it was used for learning, and you move forward.
Next round can be next second.
Yeah.
That's nice. And can you be a detached observer but not yet self-realized?
Yes, a detached observer is a practice, just like we said, awareness. These are all different practices that take us in that direction.
Yeah, thank you. No more questions.
So let us come back in our experience. And we remain prepared that our whole world and our experience, it is radical. What we are seeing is so radical. 180 degrees different. We are seeing that the whole physical world is a story world. And we are seeing our world as completely separate. We are waking up to realize our home, alokik home, alokik family, alokik treasures, alokik father, and alokik self. Whole thing. And everything at a gross level, what we can see, including this gathering, and is all part of this foreign world, and which can just disappear. Like images come and go. We said earlier, it is a foreign world, it is a temporary world, it is a fictional world, And one extra thing, it is an empty world. Images come, go, everything disappears because it is innately empty. And our world is full. It is invisible, but it is full. It is eternal. And the true self, when he is conscious, he is aware of it. That's why noble. He feels he has got the best at every level. Best father, best home, best family, best treasures. And it is full. So much that he needs nothing from anywhere. Everything else is extra. The body is extra. This moment at that time, right now, this is extra. When anything is extra, it becomes a game. That's why it is spirit of play. For the invisible player, it is the play. Silently, he knows he is very, very lucky. Attained what is ever there to be attained. We are talking about dimension of truth. He has got world of God and world with God. The highest words from the dictionary need to be used to describe this reality. Divine, sublime, noble. Such is this world. It is a Ravan-free region. So I have no concept of even desire and no concept of disappointment. World of silent joy, silent love. World of eternal celebration, silent celebration. That's why world of disbelief. Whatever is there to be attained is attained already. Whatever is there to be known is understood. He feels he has understood the secret, realized. And then everything else is just details. As we continue on our journey, we remember this extraordinary truth of everyone. Thank
Thank you. Nice homework to keep this alive. And knowing that there is a silent attention with everyone's experiences. So we'll finish with a drill from Madhavan, unless Bishan wants to add anything.
No, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you all. Wait a minute with the Bapdada. Thank you.
स्टेज के अनुभव में खो जाओ। अच्छा